So now let me show you the second level of the triangle congruence part of the Prove It app. So let's click level 2. So what's level 2? Level 2 requires the user to identify 3 pairs of congruent parts that form the basis for the application of the triangle congruence criterion. These pairs of congruent parts are selected by first determining the reason why they are congruent. So let us proceed. So we can see from the problem given here the triangle, we are to prove the triangle PQR is congruent to triangle PTS. So we can see that these two triangles are colored aqua on the screen. So we are to prove this by selecting 3 pairs of congruent parts. So here we see that there is a given tab colored purple, given congruent parts. This actually corresponds to the reasons part of the column that is present in the conventional 2 columns proofs in geometry. And here on the right hand of the screen, we see that we are actually going to use SAS. So let's try to click now the given congruence parts. So because it's SAS, we're going to first select a pair of congruent parts that are given, or that is given. So let's see. So we have PR congruent to PS. So let's try tracing those two sides. So PR, okay. Instead, select another part. Let's proceed. Okay, there PS. Oh, and then we get a feedback that those choices are correct. And observe that the first letter in SAS is now colored green to inform the user that that is now that has been determined and that's correct. So let's now proceed to the next part. So since we're now going to use the angle part, we are going to identify what pair of angles are congruent, and we now press again the given congruence parts button there, and we are asked to proceed. So let's highlight trace QRP, okay, and select another angle TSP, and there the feedback says it's correct. And notice that the angle part of SAS is highlighted. So now I will proceed to highlight or trace the remaining pair of congruent sides. So from the given, so let me click given again, that's QR and TS. So let's proceed. So QR and then TS. And observe that there's an animation that indeed the two triangles are congruent, and all 3 letters of SAS are now highlighted green. So what really transpired is that given the problem and the question on what triangles are to be proven to be congruent, the student will have to again identify 3 pairs of congruent parts to complete or to show the completion of the proof. So let's look at another example. Okay, so here we are asked to prove the triangles ABD, okay, and CDB are congruent. And here we are given ASA, and there are now 2 tabs. Earlier in the example we have seen 1 tab. So here we have seen 2 tabs. We see 2 tabs. So let's now select the given. Again, what are these 2 tabs? These represent the reasons part in the 2 columns proof, okay, the rightmost column. So let's select given congruent parts. So we are now going to proceed and select a pair of congruent angles. So that would be from the given ABD, okay, and the next is CDB there. So it's correct. Now we can proceed to so next it's the side, okay. So that spreads the reflexive property, and we're asked to select a segment. So here from what we have, so we have dB. Okay, and yes, that's correct. dB is congruent to itself. That's the reflexive property. So notice that the S part of ASA is now highlighted. We can go back again to the given. Okay, so let's select now another pair of angles. So that's ADB. So let's select ADB. Okay, congruent to CBD. Okay, and there the proof is completed, and we can now proceed to the next question. Observe that it also doesn't matter in terms of the ordering of what reason here will the student use first, but what is important is for the student to recognize. Actually, the student will eventually also understand that as he select the reasons here that are given, he needs to highlight 3 pairs of congruent sides to be able to prove the theorem. So that concludes my presentation, and in the other questions, if you will explore the prove it up, sometimes there are also 3 reasons that are given, and we will be continuing to add more questions in the next months for the prove it up. So thank you very much for listening.